Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please solve these problems. I'll be back. Yeah. Here, guys. So what is the answer for this problem? Hello, are you guys able to hear me?
Yes, sir.
What is the answer? So prove that the function x square, oh, we are asked to prove, okay. Prove that the function f of x is equal to x square minus x plus 1 is neither strictly increasing nor decreasing between -1 to 1. Correct? So how to prove that? Solution. So f of x is equal to x square minus x plus 1. So what is f dash of x? 2x minus 1. So f dash of x is greater than 0 for all values of x that belongs to
0 and 1 by 2. Yes, sir. 1 by 2, sir. X is 1 by 2.
x belongs to 1 by 2 to infinity.
Yes, sir.
Correct? Is neither. Because 2x minus 1, 2x minus 1 is greater than 0, x is greater than half. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So similarly, f dash of x is less than 0 for all values of x that belongs to minus infinity to half. So obviously, what is going to happen between -1 to 1? It is neither increasing nor
It will be neither increasing or decreasing.
decreasing. Okay. So can you, if I give you a question like this, okay, there is an additional info for you guys. X square minus x plus 1 is equal to 0 is given. Can you tell me what is the value of x?
Sir, X is 1 by 2.
Are you getting x is equal to 1 by 2? So, from your lower grades, you know that x square minus x minus 1 represents a parabola. Right? So, x is equal to half is a point where it is becoming 0. Guys, are you able to understand what I'm trying to say?
Yes, sir.
Because it is a repeated root. Half comma 0 is there. So what is happening on the right of half? It is increasing. On the left of half, it is decreasing. Is our answer right?
Yes, sir.
Guys, are you able to understand? I just wanted to give you a different perspective to the same problem. So this is how you solve. Next. Which of the following functions are strictly decreasing on 0 to pi by 2? Do it fast. I know the answer. Let's see who is able to answer first. Which of the following functions are strictly decreasing on 0 to pi?
Cos x, sir.
Cos x. Because derivative of that is going to be minus sin x. But they ask which of the following functions are. So there is a possibility that more than one option is right. So cos x by default it is right because you need not even solve this. You know that cos is going to be a decreasing function between 0 to pi by 2. It's in the first quadrant. Right. So what about cos 2x, guys? F dash of x is minus 2 sine 2x, correct? If I write it as less than 0, then sine 2x is less than 0. So x belongs to what? Sorry, sine
Minus
2x
pi
is
by
greater
2,
than
pi
0.
by 2.
No. Sine 2x is greater than 0. Then one where? Sine 2x is greater than 0, then 2x belongs to what? Where is sine positive?
First and second quadrant.
First and second quadrant. Since here they have restricted it to first quadrant, can I say 2x is greater than 0 and less than pi by 2? Then x will be
Yes.
greater than 0 and less than pi by 4. So cos 2x is not decreasing between 0 to pi by 2, rather it is decreasing between 0 to pi by 4. Wait. Less than pi, sorry, whatever you told is right, 0 to pi, right? So x is greater than 0, less than pi by 2. So cos 2x is also decreasing between 0 and pi by 2. Is there anyone who didn't understand what I did here?
Sir, if x is between 0 and pi by 2, but how can we say it's decreasing, sir?
Because I took less than 0 condition, no? F dash of x less than 0. When I took f dash of x to be less than 0, then what are the values of x that got revealed? 0 to pi by 2.
Between 0 to pi by 2. Okay, sir,
That
understood.
is why it is decreasing. Now what about cos 3x? Even without solving, you guys can tell me now. What will happen
It
for
will
cos 3?
decrease.
Between which points?
0
0,
to
comma
pi by 3.
It will be
Pi
0,
by
comma
3.
pi by 3. Because here it will become 3x. Lada. So that's not right answer. Because they are particular that it should be between 0 to pi by 2. So cos 3x,
Okay,
that's
sir.
what about tan x?
Sir, what comes, sir?
Tan x is increasing. Correct? Tan x graph, how does it look? It looks like this, no? Is everyone clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Good.
Sir, so
What?
tan x also decreases, sir, between 0 to pi by 2.
Tan increases. Tan is tan sine or increasing functions. Cos is decreasing. Okay.
Okay, sir, understood.
Yeah. So on which of the following intervals is a function strictly decreasing? Try this, no? F of x is equal to,
Sir,
tell me,
first one it will be increasing, sir. Second one also increasing, sir. Third one
on which of the following intervals is the function decreasing? So how did you do? F of x is equal to x power 100 plus sine x. F dash of x is equal to 100 into x power 99 plus cos
cos
x.
x.
Okay. So this should be less than 0. So f dash of x should be less than 0 for strictly decreasing. Correct? How did you find?
Sir.
So you substitute a value between 0 and 1. What will happen?
Sir, the values will be increasing, sir.
Value will be decreasing.
Sir, no, sir, increasing.
How did you say it will be increasing? But that is what I want to know. I want to understand how you thought that it is going to be increasing. I want to understand the logic.
So because 0, comma 1, sir, that is in the first quadrant, sir, so the values will be increasing, sir.
That's not the right way to think. So 0 is a real number, 1 is a real number. Any real number between 0 and 1, you can substitute an f dash of x. It has nothing to do with quadrant. Okay, let's say you take a quadrant also. Explain me properly. No? Whatever you have understood. Even if it is wrong, it is okay. Just explain. No?
So the value of cos in the first quadrant, sir, will be positive, sir. So the total value of the function will be increasing, sir. Because if you substitute the values for x in the function come as greater than 0.
Perfect, perfect. That is what I expected. So between 0 to 1, you substitute any value. This is going to be a positive value and this is going to be a positive value, because you might ask me, sir, what is cos half value? What is cos half then? Can someone tell me what is cos 1?
So pi by 2.
I know you know it. I know you'll make this mistake.
So
Cos
it should
pi,
be cos inverse of 1 pi by 2.
it should be cos inverse of 1. But you can ask me what is cos 1. So this is where I wanted to stress on one important point. If I give you 0 to pi by 2, pi is how much? 3.14. Pi divided by 2 is how much? 1.57 something. Right. So when I say 0 to 1, as he told, it falls in the first quadrant only. So cos of any value between 0 to 1, you're going to substitute here. It is going to give you a positive value. So positive plus positive is going to give you a positive value. Do you guys understand? It's a critical step. Is everyone clear? Yes. That's. Now what about cos pi by 2 plus pi? Between pi by 2 plus pi by 2 comma pi.
It will decrease, sir.
So it will increase, sir.
It's because, see what mistake, no? I'm able to understand how you people are thinking. So now you have to start thinking pi by 2 as a number. Pi by 2 is how much stuff? It is 1.57 something. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So, if see, for the second case, when I talk about pi by 2 to pi, correct? Listen to this very carefully. So if dash of, for example, I substitute any value for that matter, pi by 2 is 90 degrees, pi is 180 degrees. If I substitute 3 pi by 4 for that matter, 3 pi by 4 in terms of number is what? Oh, 3 pi by 4. No, it's right only, 0.75. 3 into 45. So 3 pi by 4 in terms of number is what? 3 by 4 times
3.7.
3 by 4 times 3.14.
Yes, sir.
So f dash of, can I say 9 point something divided by 4, which is a value greater than 2?
Yes, sir.
Right. So pi by 2 itself is a number which is greater than 1, and pi is a number which is 3.14. So you substitute any number between 1.57 to 3.14, then it become 100 into, let's say the least value also 1.58, the whole power 99 plus cos of 1.58. Now what will happen is, this value is for sure negative, no doubt in that. Because cos in the second quadrant is negative. But what is happening here is 1.58, any number greater than 1 raised to the power 99 and then multiplied with 100 is definitely going to be a positive value, very much greater than this negative value.
Yes, sir.
So like that, you substitute any number between pi by 2 to pi, this value will always be greater than 0. You're able to understand? Very, very important.
Yes, sir.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Now, using the same logic, you guys tell me what will happen between 0 to pi.
Sir, it will increase, sir.
Increasing, sir.
So what is the answer then?
Sir, none of these. D.
These should be the answer. Okay. Shall I move on to the next one?
Sir.
Find the least value of a such that the function x square plus ax plus 1 is strictly increasing on 1 to 2. You guys try and tell me, no? Find the least value of a for which this function is strictly increasing on 1, 2.
Sir, A is minus 2, sir.
Is
Minus 2.
Least value is minus 2.
Yes, sir.
Ax square x square plus ax plus 1. Okay. F dash of x is 2x plus
2x
a.
plus a.
For decreasing, for strictly decreasing, f dash of x should be less than 0, which implies 2x plus a is less than 0, which implies x is less than minus
Minus
a
a
by
by
2. Okay. X is less than minus a by 2 means
So the minimum value of x is minus a by 2.
x is less than minus a by 2 means maximum value. See, if you read something like this, no, x is less than
Sir,
1.
but it's strictly increasing, sir, not decreasing, sir.
So they told increasing, sorry. Now what will happen?
X is greater than minus 0.
X
So
is
x is
greater
greater
than
than
minus a by 2. And what is the value of x that they have given?
1 and 2.
1 to 2. So minimum value is 1 here. So minus a by 2 is equal to 1, which implies a is equal to minus 2. The least value that is possible is minus 2. So what will be the maximum value?
Sir, infinity, sir, positive infinity.
That's right. Next. Let I be any interval disjoint from minus 1 comma 1. Prove that the function f given by f of x is equal to x plus 1 by x is strictly decreasing on I. So do this and tell me. Anybody? So how to proceed?
Sir,
F
f
of
of x function.
f dash of x is how much?
Sir, it is x square plus 1 by x square.
X
We
square
take
minus
common.
this x square minus 1 by x square.
So no, sir, it is x plus 1 by x. No, so it should be x square minus 1 by x.
That's what I want. You took the function itself as x square plus 1 by x square. I differentiated separately. Derivative of x is 1, derivative of 1 by x is minus 1 by x square. This is f dash of x. So
Sir,
they are saying,
actually, sir, I took 1 by x as x inverse minus 1 and I differentiated using the powers, sir.
yeah, why are you complicating? Al Panna, you will get the same thing. You can always remember derivative of 1 by x is minus 1 by x square. Sharia? You can remember it.
Okay,
So
sir.
x square minus 1 divided by x square is given. Let I be any interval disjoint from minus 1 to 1, a real number except
Minus 1 and 1.
minus 1 to 1. So minus 1 to 1, there is a 0 in between. So we can clearly say that x is not equal to 0. When x is not equal to 0, this x square can go to the other side. This implies x square minus 1 is greater than 0, which clearly says x minus 1 into x plus 1 is greater than 0. X belongs to minus infinity to minus 1 union 1 to infinity,
Nice, but it
which is nothing but x belongs to real number except minus 1.
1, 1.
Is there anyone who is facing difficulty with these kind of problems? Please let me know.
Sir,
Everyone,
could you explain this one, please?
which step? Which step?
After that x square minus 1 by x square, after differentiation.
See, after differentiation, what I did, they told it should be strictly increasing, right? So x square minus 1 divided by x square is greater than 0. Okay. So whenever you are solving an inequality, for example, I have a by b greater than 0, I can write it as a greater than 0 only when b is not equal to 0. You're able to understand? Am I clear with this point?
Yes, sir. Clear, sir. Clear.
That is clear, right? But what they have told is in the question itself, I is some interval which is disjoint from minus 1 comma 1. So this function has the domain as real number except the values between minus 1 to 1. And 0 obviously falls between minus 1 to 1. So from there I understood that x cannot be 0. So I took that x square to the other side. Then x square minus 1 is greater than 0. A square minus b square. A minus b into a plus b is greater than 0. As a result of which, this I have already taught, x minus alpha into x minus beta is greater than 0. X belongs to minus infinity to alpha union beta to infinity. Do you remember this or not?
Yes, sir. Last class.
I would have taught this, so the same logic I applied. So x belongs to minus infinity to minus 1 union 1 to infinity, or the other way to write it is, from the real number set, I have to remove the values from minus 1 to 1. That's it.
Okay, sir. Understood.
Can you try the 16th one? Prove that the function f given by f of x is equal to log of sin x is strictly increasing on pi by 2 and strictly decreasing on pi by 2 to pi. Try this, no?
Sir, that's
Okay. What is the derivative of log of sin x?
sir, cortex.
You get it as cot x. Everyone got it? Everybody? So log of sin x, f dash of x will be 1 by sin x into cos x. That is going to be cot x. Okay. So it has to be strictly increasing. Cot x should be greater than 0. 1 by sin x and derivative of sin x is cos x. Correct. Cot x. Cot x is greater than 0. In which quadrant?
Sir, first quadrant.
First quadrant, obviously. So x belongs to 0 to pi by 2. If I have to be more specific, union pi to 3 pi by 2. That is third quadrant also cot is positive. But here our concern is only between 0 to pi by 2. So when this is also included, I can say between 0 to pi by 2 it is increasing. Correct? Similarly, f dash of x is nothing but cot x. If it is less than 0, x belongs to which quadrant? Obviously.
Second quadrant.
4. Pi by 2 to pi union 3 pi by 2 to 2 pi. But this is not needed. Right? Their concern is only between the first and the second quadrant. As simple as that. It's not 2-mark problem this case. Correct?
Sir.
Shall I proceed? Everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
No. So I want you to try this. Prove that the function f given by f of x is equal to log of cos x is strictly decreasing on 0 to pi by 2. So log of cos x, what will you get?
Sir, tan x.
No. Check it.
Sir, tan x, sir.
Negative will be there, no, sir?
Minus
Negative.
tan
Minus
x.
tan
Minus
x.
tan x, sir.
Minus tan x should come.
Get minus tan x. that negative sign is not there, your whole answer will change. Be careful with that. So f of x is equal to log of cos x. So f dash of x is equal to 1 by cos x into minus sin x. Okay, this will be minus tan x. So minus tan x should be greater than 0 for increasing. So tan x should be greater than 0 for, sorry, tan x should be less than 0 for increasing. So x belongs to which quadrant? Obviously, second quadrant, pi by 2 to pi. It is strictly increasing, proved. Similarly, minus tan x should be less than 0 for decreasing, and tan x should be greater than 0 for decreasing. X belongs to 0 to pi. That's it. We are done. Okay. See, just wanted to stress on one point there. I'm doing it like a rough work here, but in your exam, you need to be crystal clear with your steps. For decreasing, you need to show the steps clearly. Okay, don't use shortcuts. You lose marks. I want everybody to be keen on that.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Solution. So f of x is equal to x cube minus 3x square plus 3x minus 100. We need to prove that it is increasing in R. Let's try this. Make it fast. So f dash of x is equal to 3x square minus 6x plus 3. 3x square minus 6x plus 3. Okay. So f dash of x is greater than 0. So 3x square minus 6x plus 3 is greater than 0. X square minus 2x plus 1 is greater than 0. Then I will get x minus
the whole square.
x minus 1 the whole square. So what I will do is I leave it as it is. Okay. So f dash of x is 3x square minus 6x plus 3. So 3x square minus 6x plus 3 can be written as 3 into x square minus 2x minus 1. So it is nothing but 3 into x minus 1 the whole square. So from this we can say, which is nothing but f dash of x. From this I can conclude that f dash of x is always positive for all values of x that belongs to R. Hence it is increasing. Shariya?
Yes, sir.
Here, since, yeah, it is increasing. Yes. Last, the interval in which y is equal to x square into e power minus x is increasing is. F dash of x e power minus x into 2x plus x square into e power minus x. So e power minus x I'm going to take into.
So you can also take x common, sir.
I took x square plus 2x.
So you can take x into e power minus x into x plus 2. So
Yeah, anything will be the same. If you want me to do it like that, I'll take it. X into e power minus 2x into x plus 2. Okay. They're asking the interval in which it is increasing. So it is greater than 0. Now tell me one thing. What do you know from the basics of an exponential function? E power
That's the same derivative.
That is not. I'm talking about the basics. I didn't ask the derivative. If you revisit the graph of exponential function, this is e power x. This is the graph for e power minus x. Okay. So concentrate. Okay. If I talk only about e power x, I can say it is an increasing function in the real number system. If I talk only about e power minus x, I can say it is a decreasing function in the real number system. Correct? But if I talk about e power x and e power minus x as a common, if I take a common factor out of both, I can say both both give you positive values for any value of x. That is why if you see, they are always above x-axis. So e power x and e power minus x are always greater than 0. You can ask me, why am I stressing on this point here? Because I need to know what this exponential function has to do here, because I have a combination of algebraic and exponential function. Correct? So confidently, if I divide with e power minus x on both the sides, is my inequality going to change or is it going to be the same?
It will remain the same, sir.
Same,
Remain the same. You will be able to know that only if you know this fact. I hope everyone is clear with it. Because again, I know how your mind will think. E power minus x means you will start thinking it's a negative value. Whether it is e power x or e power minus x, it is always, whatever is the value of x that you're going to give in, it will always give you a positive value. Hence, from this, I can conclude that x into x plus 2 is greater than 0. So x obviously belongs to minus infinity to minus 2 union 0 to infinity. There is no interval. Yeah, I made a mistake. Sorry. Can someone correct my mistake? The process of explanation, I made a mistake. Mistake is there in the first step itself.
Minus e power minus x, sir.
I forgot to differentiate minus x. Here, so e power minus x into 2x, derivative of x square, plus x square into e power minus x into derivative of this is minus 1. I forgot to do this. Okay, anyways, let's see what we are going to get. So what will we get, guys? E power minus x, I take out x also outside. Okay. I take x outside, e power minus x into, what are we left with inside?
Sir, minus x plus 2.
2 minus x.
Yes.
I'm left out with 2 minus x. Now see, if I put this to be greater than 0, then x into e power minus x into 2 minus, I repeated the step. Then can I write x into 2 minus x is greater than 0? Means I'm dividing with e power minus x on both the sides. X into x minus 2 will be less than 0, guys. Did you understand what I did? I took the minus from 2 minus x. Then I'll get x into x minus 2 is less than 0. Then x belongs to 0 to 2. X belongs to 0 to 2. I'm sorry for this thing. Clear? It's a good problem actually. I think the 10th problem alone we are supposed to do, right?
Yes, sir.
What is the question? Prove that logarithmic function is strictly increasing on 0 to infinity. So logarithmic function, if I take it as log x base e as f of x, then what is f dash of x? It is 1 by x. 1 by x is greater than 0, which implies, now you know. Now you know, right? 1 by x, for all values of x that is positive, that is for 0 to infinity, this is going to give you a positive value. That's it.
Yes, sir.
That's it. It's a simple problem. Okay. So with this, we have come to the end of increasing and decreasing functions. So we have seen two important applications of derivatives. What are they? One is rate of change of things. Second is increasing and decreasing function. But if we revisit the basics again, there is one thing we always keep discussing about. So when we revisit the basics, I keep asking you, why do we differentiate? By differentiating, what are we going to get? We are going to get the slope of a tangent to a curve at a particular point. Right? We are going to get the slope of a tangent to a curve at a particular point, whose application is the next exercise. This is a very, very simple exercise. except the fact that you need to recollect certain formulae from last year's concept. That's it. So the name of this exercise is tangents and normals. So what we will do here is, using the applications of derivatives, we will be finding the equations of tangents and normals to a particular curve at a given point. That's it. Okay. So,
Sir.
for example, if there is a curve like this, you know what is a tangent. So tangent is a line which touches the curve only at one point. So how to find the slope of the tangent? Slope is nothing but dy by dx. Right? Dy by dx at this particular point, whatever that point might be, x naught comma y naught, whatever it is. Now what is normal at a point? What do you mean by normal? Normal is perpendicular. But as such, for a curve, you cannot define perpendicular because angles are measured only between lines, right? So when I say something is perpendicular to a curve, how is it possible? At that curve, you need to draw a tangent. At that point, you need to draw a tangent. And if you're able to define a line which is perpendicular to the tangent, we call it as normal,
Normal.
right? So normal is basically a line which makes an angle 90 degrees with the tangent to a particular curve. So if the slope of a tangent is dy by dx, then according to mathematics and straight lines, then what is going to be the slope of normal? I'll give you. It is minus 1 divided by dy by dx. But how did I write this? It comes from the basics of your straight lines. So let's revisit the straight lines concept and see. If the slope of a given line is m or m1, then if this, okay, I'll call it as m itself. If the slope of a given line is m, which in this case is dy by dx, then the slope of the line perpendicular to it, if I call it as m1, then I know the fact that the product of slope of lines which are perpendicular to each other gives you a minus 1. Accept it?
Yes, sir.
Right? Then obviously what is going to be the value of m1? m1 is minus 1 by m. That's why, that is the reason why we got slope of normal as minus 1 by dy by dx. Okay, this is all you need to know, nothing else. Okay. So it is given here, see. If a tangent line to a curve y is equal to f of x makes an angle theta with the x-axis in the positive direction, then dy by dx is equal to slope of the tangent, or we can call it as tan theta also. Okay. So generally, all these points I will discuss during the problems. Okay. Similarly, if you know what is the slope of a line and you know the point through which the line is passing, then how do you write the equation of a line in slope point form? Y minus y naught will be equal to m into x minus x naught. You know this, right? Y minus y1 is equal to m into x minus x1. This is called as slope point form because you know the slope and you know the point. That's it. Okay. That is all we are supposed to do in this exercise. As simple as that. Your job is only to write the equation of a tangent and equation of a normal to a curve at a given point. That's it. Let's start solving and try to understand how the problems are going to be. Find the slope of a tangent to the curve y is equal to x cube minus x at x is equal to 2. Simple. So given curve is y is equal to x cube minus x. So what is dy by dx? 3x square minus 1. So that is according to the formula. But according to mathematics, the definition of dy by dx is nothing but slope of tangent. So what did they ask? Dy by dx at x is equal to 2. So take this and substitute it here. What are you going to get? 3 into 4 minus 1. Answer is 11. Clear, guys?
Yes, sir.
So let's do the next one. Find the point. Let me do it. find the point at which tangent to this curve y is equal to root of 4x minus 3 minus 1 has a slope of 2 by 3. As simple as that. Simple, guys. Y is equal to root of 4x minus 3 minus 1. So what is dy by dx equal to? 1 by 2 root of 4x
x
minus
minus 3.
into derivative of 4x minus 3 is 4
4.
minus 0. Right? So dy by dx is how much?
Sir, 2 by root 4x minus 3.
So no, what they have given, dy by dx, they have given it as 2 by 3. So these two are equal. So 2 divided by root of 4x minus 3 will be equal to 2 by 3. 2 and 2 are gone. So 4x minus 3 will be equal to 9. I hope you understood. I squared on both the sides. So 4x will be equal to 6. 6 will 12. 4x will be equal to 12 and x will be equal to 3. But they asked what is the point? We got the x coordinate. How to get the y coordinate? Use x is equal to 3 in y is equal to root of 4x minus 3 minus 1. Correct? Huh? So I put x is equal to 3 here. Root of 4 into 3 is going to give you 12 minus 3 minus 1, that is 2. So square root of 9 is 3, 3 minus 1, 2. So what is the required point? 3 comma
3 comma 2.
So 3 comma 2 is the point on this particular curve where if you draw a tangent, the tangent slope will be 2 by 3. 1 minute. Yes.
Sir,
Hey, please copy it. Yeah,
sir,
tell me.
can you just explain that differentiation step, sir? That 1 by square root of 4x minus 3.
Square root of x is how much?
1 by 2 root x, sir.
That's what I did. So square root of this whole thing, I took it as a function, square root of f of x. So 1 by 2 root of f of x. What is f of x? 4x minus 3 into
Okay, sir.
derivative of f of x. That is 4. Derivative of
Sir,
4x minus.
So for a square root function, we should first do the derivative of a whole square root, then inside function we have to differentiate, sir.
That's the one. See, to check whether you have understood, I will give you another problem. Root of x square plus x plus 1. Differentiate and tell me. 1 by. You can tell me. I'll write it. Mithun, tell me.
1 by root of 2x plus 1.
2 root of.
Sorry, sir. 2 root of 2x plus 1.
Yeah, other than that. 1 by 2 root of, write the same things.
Oh, okay, sir. Then then into we have to write that 2x plus 1. Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay.
Understood, sir.
That's it. Guys, are things clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So it is 3 comma 2. Shall we go? Find the equation of all lines having slope 2 and being a tangent to the curve y plus 2 by x minus 3 is equal to 0. Okay. Copy. Let's try this. Find the equation of all lines having slope 2. So what is the curve now? Can I write y is equal to minus 2 divided by x minus 3? That's right. So they gave dy by dx is equal to 2 because slope 2 is for a tangent. So that is dy by dx, because you need to be very careful. In some questions they will say slope of a normal is this thing. Okay, at that time you should not get confused. So what is dy by dx? So
it is x minus 3 into 0 plus
okay,
x
okay,
minus 3.
you're using u by v rule, no? So what I will say is, if you have 1 by x, if y is equal to 1 by x, dy by dx will be equal to minus 1 by f of x the whole square into f dash of x. Why did we get this? Because I already told you derivative of 1 by x is what? Minus 1 by x square, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So it will be minus 1 by f of x the whole square into f dash of x, like how we did for square root. So using the same logic, minus 2 divided by, tell me, minus 1 by
Minus-
x minus 3 the whole square, denominator square, into derivative of denominator.
So shouldn't it be 2 outside, so not minus 2?
We took minus 2 outside. I took minus 2 outside, so that the derivative of 1 by x minus 3 is this thing. If you're not, so okay, I'm leaving it to you. If you're not comfortable with this method, you can still do it with the old method. That is u by v. It's up to you, okay? I just wanted to teach you this. I explained. So 2 divided by x minus 3 the whole square is dy by dx. Okay. So what is the value of dy by dx they have given? That is 2. So 2 and 2 will get cancelled. X minus 3 the whole square is going to give you how much?
Answer.
So x minus 3 will be equal to plus or minus 1. So x minus 3 will be 1 and x minus 3 will be minus 1. So x is how much? 4 or x is equal to 2. That is the reason why they told find the equation of all lengths. There are 2 points. There are 2 points. X is equal to 4. How much is the value of y dot?
Minus 2, sir.
Minus
2.
Correct. Those who didn't understand how that minus 2 has come, just take this 4 and substitute it here. Similarly, x is equal to 2. What will be the value of y?
2, sir.
2.
Yes, sir.
So what are the coordinates? 4 comma minus 2 and 2 comma 2. Correct? So these are the 2 points at which they are expecting. So you know the slope m is 2 and you know the points. So one line equation of first line will be how much? Y minus y1 is equal to m into x minus x1. So y plus 2 will be equal to 2x minus 8. So 2x minus y minus 10 is equal to 0. That is the equation of one of the lines. What will be the equation of second line? Y minus 2 is equal to 2 into x minus 2. So y minus 2 is equal to 2x minus 4. So 2x minus y minus 2 is equal to 0. So I hope you guys are clear, right?
Yes, sir.
Sir.
Tell me. Okay. So this is all about understanding tangents. Okay. So next class, what I will do is I will solve the problem. You don't solve it. If there is any backlog that you have, try to work on it and complete it. Okay. And tomorrow's class, I will solve the exercise 6.3. And secondly,
Okay,
I wanted to tell you all. Yesterday there was an app issue. That is the reason there was some maintenance going on. Okay. Secondly, what many of you have sent the paper to the official number, right? So for safer side, it is better you upload it again in the app also, so that we don't miss the content, and your papers will get corrected on time. Or else, if there is any miss from our end, your papers might get missed to get corrected. Okay. So ensure you upload it today itself, so that we'll send.
Okay,
we'll
sir.
correct it by today. Okay. I'll see you all. That's it.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.